This is Harry Hog Football, the original Redskins Fans podcast. On today's show, we talk about the non-loss against the Chicago Bears. The Dan Snyder saga continues. Is it the beginning of the end?
It's the beginning of the end!
And much, much more live with Aaron and John. Yo, 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 yo. What's up, John?
Yo, yo, yo. What's up?
Excellent!
Welcome, everybody. Harry Hog Football, episode numero 561, in which we discuss a victory, even though it didn't really feel like one to me.
It's a non-defeat, dude. It's a non-defeat.
It's a win. Hey, a win's a win, dude. A win's a win.
A win is a win. We are one game out of the wild card hunt at 2-4.
Celebrate!
Well, you know what I'm going to celebrate? You know what I'm going to celebrate? Because Mr. Wentz broke his the ring finger, right there.
This one.
And he had this one right here.
Notice it's this one, not the middle.
Yep.
YouTube algorithms.
He broke his ring finger, I believe.
It's his ring finger. His right
ring finger. There we go. There you see.
I see it, dude. I see it. And if you're on our Discord channel, you can see it live as well. And that is tinyurl.com/HarryHF. You can watch the podcast in there or comment live. You can also watch it live on YouTube.
That's right. And we are live in there.
If you miss it live, you can always catch it on the video on YouTube or now on Spotify, which is how I think Firefly is doing it recently.
Nice.
In fact, he was saying the video was really doing it justice of how mad you were last week. Something to this effect.
Because last week, if you guys listened to last week's episode, you know that it was that right when that story came out on the Washington Post with all that stuff about Snyder, I was livid.
Oh, you were.
But I still say, especially now, especially considering all the things that we figured out since then, it's the beginning of the end for Dan Snyder. He's either going to sell or they are going to vote him out eventually. They didn't vote him out today, but I think they're going to vote him out in the winter meetings, or they're going to say, we've got 24 votes. We're going to vote you out. And he will hopefully at that point say he will sell to Jeff Bezos for $6 billion.
We did that at the exact same time, dude. Dude, $6 billion. Preparations A through G have failed. In fact, we will call this Preparation H.
Start!
On the whole, Preparation H feels good.
Yeah.
Oh, three-peat. They may not have the votes today. However,
dude, Jim Irsay came out and gave like an almost 15-minute speech, unprompted, about the whole Dan Snyder thing. Like, yeah, we need to take care of this because this is just ridiculous. He sounded like he was drunk because he's always drunk or high or on drugs or on a crap ton of oxycodone or whatever it is that week. Or he's buying like a $300,000 guitar that Prince played once.
And he's got nothing to hide because everyone knows it already.
He was probably just like, oh, you think you have dirt on me? All my dirt's out. It's all out and about. Everyone knows it.
So basically,
Irsay, like, I'm high right now. I'm on oxycodone right now in this meeting, and I want to vote you out. And I don't care because everybody knows.
To sum it up, what Irsay was saying into one word. to Dan Snyder.
Sell. Yeah. It's really the word sell.
Oh, what is this? Apparently,
God,
there a
dude,
letter?
we know we have 2 votes. We have Jim Irsay's vote, and we have Mark Davis. Al Davis, he's a good player. His son with the Las Vegas Raiders. We already know that he's not a fan of him either, so we know that's 2 votes right there.
Oh, apparently Dan Snyder put out a letter. Someone just posted it in our Discord room. Should I read this? Should I read this
sure.
aloud on the podcast? Or just paraphrase?
Just paraphrase it, because I haven't even read it. I've seen it, and I haven't even read it because I know exactly what it's going to say.
It's going to say something about how much change they've done in the last 2 years, and that's his defense.
Yeah, and I can't. And he's probably like, he says Jim Irsay is disrespectful and blah blah blah, this blah blah blah. That you might as well put a Putin mask on him, because he's just like Putin. Everyone else's fault but his.
All right, I'm going to paraphrase. First paragraph is one sentence, hoping that our families are doing well. Thanks, dude. Next paragraph.
His wife wrote that.
She was like, "You got to start out with something nice." It just says,
Yeah,
"Dear
really,
blank, dear blank. I hope that you and your family are doing well." Is what it says.
Dear fellow billionaire.
Dear
I hope
blank,
you and your family are doing well.
Dear blank, comma. I hope you are doing well in your family. It says ESPN article is false and malicious statements about the Commanders, the management team, blah, blah, and me and my family. It's shameful, blah, blah, blah. Especially Jason Wright, who has no power to make real change, blah, blah. I know you know this to be false, but ESPN ignored us, blah, blah. ESPN spreading lies.
I'm trying to fight the Nazi, communist, Jewish people in Ukraine. They tried to take over the world. Everyone's fault but his. Everyone's fault but Dan Snyder's. If you told him that today was Wednesday or Tuesday, he'd say, "No, it's Wednesday, and I'll sue you if you're wrong about it." If the owners say they've got 24 people or 24 owners that are going to vote against him, he'd be like, "I'm going to sue you guys." It's like, no, they're going to throw it out. It's going to be 24, and you would be done. By the way, they've never voted anybody out in the NFL, ever. They've never voted anybody out.
Dude,
he could be the first one, and I have a feeling he might be the first one.
I was going to say, our franchise breaks a lot of bad streaks, dude. Every week there's another one.
Really.
There's never been an owner of an NFL team thrown out. Until now.
Here's your 2022 Washington Redskins football team commander.
We are the Commanders.
We can break streaks all over the place because
we are the Commanders.
All right. Second paragraph. I'm going to sum it up for all you guys. He said it's false. He's never hired any PIs to investigate the other owners, and someone's trying to drive a wedge between him and the other owners.
Stop. Cue. Magna PI. I always think of the original. I love that part right there, the original one, because Tom Slug's sitting there and he's got like
that woman.
The woman like in his arms, so he's holding her as she's like snorkeling. He's just kind of like
in the ocean, and her butt's like right in his face, and he's just like,
this was the 80s, man. This was the 80s. When, with Wonder Woman, and they were like in her silken tights. And the song. That was a long time ago. This one we were children.
But was he induced?
I still watch Magnum all the time on that 24/7 Magnum channel. Awesome. Okay, anyway, he didn't hire Magnum apparently, or any other PIs, Simon and Simon, or any of those other 80s PIs.
Simon and Simon.
Do you remember that?
I remember that one.
Dude, you know what I saw? I didn't even know this existed. You know what I saw on the 24/7 Magnum PI channel? There was a crossover episode where Magnum PI and Simon and Simon were all on some case in Hawaii.
Oh, man. The guys from Simon and Simon were just like, sweet, we get to go to Hawaii to do this one. We don't have to film right here in like West
LA
Hollywood or wherever it is.
AJ and Rick. Anyway, enough about AJ and Rick
AJ
and
Rick.
Magnum. He didn't hire AJ. He says he didn't hire Rick. None of the Simons. He hired none of the Simons, and he hired no Magnum PI. All right, next paragraph. While we are all fierce competitors on the field, he's never been on the field. What's he talking about? We are a part of this organization. We love football, our teams, and our fans. You hate us, dude. He says he loves us. Oh, no, no. He's talking to...
He's like...
He's talking to the other owners, is what I was going to say. As owners, we love our fans. He doesn't.
Oh.
He hates us. He loves Cowboys fans.
Apparently.
Because he won't sell the team. Having the privilege to own a franchise in America's sport, to coin a phrase from the Cowboys, in America's sport is something I know none of us take for granted. Falsehoods and lies being spread about any of our organizations hurt our league. Our players are fans, and we simply cannot let them go unchallenged. Thank you for taking the time to read this. If you have any questions, call Tanya and I. We're available to answer them. I have some questions. I'll look forward to discussing this with you at the appropriate time. What about in the meeting tomorrow, dude?
Yeah, I don't even know if he or Tanya even went to the meeting. I have no idea. But it was only a one-day meeting. So they didn't vote on getting rid of him today. But I think it's the beginning of the end. I really think all this stuff is the beginning of the end. And I'd love for him to sell, and everyone would love for him to sell. But I think he could actually get voted out and be the first owner ever, just like you were saying, dude.
Dude, look what Firefly said. Dan Snyder right now. I'm going to sue that Beavis and Butthead podcast. Hardly, dude.
You are a loser, sir.
He's never been on the field. What is he talking about in that letter? He hasn't been on the field any more than I've been on the field, except on the sideline. We're fierce competitors on the field.
He was, hold on. He was in the, this was at Dallas's field. He was in the middle of that star that people go and like pee on all the time when they go on tours.
Yeah, like my friend Chris Dowell, who's going to drop that note on the field for me next week when he goes. Oh, crap. I wrote it in like 6-point font. He's going to pretend it's like a gum wrapper. He's going to drop it right on the 50-yard line, and it says how I really feel about Dallas. It's going to be very cathartic, dude, to know that my note was delivered to the star.
Delivered to the star.
All right, well, yeah, so it's already, something's hitting the fan if it prompted Dan to take the time to pen 3 little paragraphs.
He's panicking. He's panicking. He knows that the walls are closing in.
Yeah, they're totally closing in. I got to tell him this isn't true. It's true. It's true.
It's true.
Dan Snyder, they said you was hung. And they was right. Wait, am I allowed to say that anymore? I don't know.
Not about him.
I love you guys, man.
Pilar?
Pilar.
Oh, man. Okay. Speaking of Dan Snyder, sell the team. I had some stickers made. They should be here shortly. I'm only selling them for like $3 delivered via mail with a stamp.
Nice.
So if you want one, you got to let me know, except for Firefly or whoever is getting them shipped to England. I have in Ireland and Scotland and all over. I have no idea how much it costs to send a letter to there, but it'll basically be that cost plus.
You might have to put like cardboard on either side of the sticker in like the envelope so it doesn't get bent.
Yeah, but then it'll weigh even more.
It'll weigh even more. If you
got to weigh under an ounce.
If you pay for it to be like on slow boat to China or the UK, it could take a while. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, we get stuff from Ireland every year for Berta's family.
Back to the Dan Snyder thing, real quick. Sorry that I wasn't listening to you.
as I started pontificating about airmail.
You started talking about airmail, and my mind was just like, I'm not listening to him. It costs something to send it there. More than $3 is what I'm getting at, but I'll just charge you whatever that is. I think Andrew already claimed one of them to you. Two of them.
Yeah,
Andrew,
you got to send a few to me over here at Harry Hog Studios East.
I think when I go to the Colts game, I'm gonna wear one like on my jersey, like maybe.
Oh yeah,
like
dude.
It's a patch. They're 4 inches big, so I might wear one. I might wear one on the back too, or will it ruin my jersey? I don't know.
I don't know. It depends.
I don't think it would ruin it as long as I don't put it on the screen print.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about that. So I got the stickers. If you haven't seen them, they're in the Discord room. They say "sell the team" and then have our little logo small in the corner.
Dude, I just want to hear the fans this weekend, home and away fans, all of them, all together chanting, "Sell the team, sell the team, sell the team." Right now, I am looking. Where is it? I'm looking right at ESPN's front page. Top story, top headlines. Irsay believes merit, quote unquote, to remove Snyder's owner. 5th headline, lawyer worries Snyder got client names via NFL. We didn't even talk about that.
Oh, I haven't read this article. Brief us, sir.
Basically,
this is the end.
Lisa Banks, the Washington, D.C. lawyer that was representing all those women that were testifying against Snyder and did it with a confidentiality agreement. She says that the NFL gave the list to Dan Snyder. What the hey? Because he's been apparently, I figured they were saying that he was sending all, and they were saying he compiled basically an enemies list that was used by Snyder's law firm to commission private investigators and harass her clients,
Rick,
including former team cheerleaders and other former employees. I thought they were just doing that based on people they know they didn't like and people that didn't like the team and left. So they're sending people around for that. But this person says it was based on that list. I wonder if this is her trying just to get some of this list out in the open. Not that list, but the things that they said. Huh.
Strange things are afoot at the NFL owners meetings, dude. They're talking about it. And even when they're outside of the meeting between yesterday and today, they're all like going to dinner with different people and having drinks and cocktails with the different owners and people around the owners. They're all talking about it outside of the meeting.
Two of the top 5 headlines on ESPN right now are about us. Nothing about the field. Nothing about football. Lawyer worried Snyder got client names via NFL. Irsay believes merit to remove Snyder's owner. It's the beginning of the end, man. It's the beginning of the end. We're finally going to get rid of him. I'm telling you.
Repeat says he thinks we're getting our hopes up too high. If nothing happens, we'll be crushed again. We're eternally crushed, dude.
We're eternally crushed.
It doesn't matter. There's only one way. It's up.
I think this is it. We know Jim Irsay will vote for it. That's one. We know that.
First of all, they're actually talking about it.
They're actually talking about it in public. You don't air stuff like that in public unless it's a real reason.
Nope.
Unless there's really a reason he's doing it.
So I thought
that Mark Davis, or I already talked about that. Go ahead.
I thought this was interesting, and I think I mentioned it to you. So during the game last, what day was it? Thursday.
Last Thursday, yes. When as we go actually talk about football, when Carson Wentz broke his ring finger.
Oh, I'm not talking about football yet. We'll save that for a little bit. During the game on Thursday, Al Michaels brought up his personal opinion that Dan Snyder should sell the team. Now, they were saying I read an article, and the last paragraph was something like the powers that be, I guess for the NFL and for the network, didn't mind him airing his opinion during the game. And you know who the powers that be are that aired that game?
You mean the game that was on Amazon Prime?
Yeah. Tell him that he should sell the team, and then I swoop in with my $5 bill, which to him is like $10 to us, you know. I'll swoop in with my $5 bill and be like, "Give me the team." He paid $10 billion, didn't he, for these games for 1 year?
What? He paid $1 billion.
Right, $1 billion. Okay, sorry.
$1 billion. I thought that
but still, $1 billion for $1 billion.
If $1 billion is $1.
No, but still, $1 billion for 1 year of games. You don't think he can buy an entire team for the eternity until he dies for an NFL franchise? Yes, he can.
Bought the Post, Washington Post,
dude.
I mean, why would you buy a newspaper?
Doug, what is it?
Dude, I'm telling you, I would be ecstatic if this happened. And he could change the name to the Primes if he wants.
Just change our jerseys back to burgundy and gold.
Oh my gosh.
Like real burgundy and real gold.
It would be awesome.
I think this is what it's going to be. But I think that Snyder is such a petty jackass that he would make them vote him to get him out, and then he tried to sue the league for voting to get him out or something like that. Like it's to the point where it's to the point.
Well, remember they already had to get the other big thing is there's no one at the stadium. Look at the owners just from a monetary standpoint. No one's going to the games.
Yeah.
The stadium sucks. None of the towns want him. Like Virginia doesn't want him. Maryland doesn't want him. DC does. DC is the city where the team should be, and they don't want anything to do with them.
They don't want anything to do with them. And they thought they had like a bipartisan thing like going on in Virginia, and they were going to get it. And the people spoke. Republicans and Democrats, they were like, we are not giving $1 tax money to this jackass that owns that team. So you know the stadium in freaking Woodbridge.
The NFL a few years ago were like, "Hey Dan, maybe if you actually change the name, then these government people will, get behind a new stadium and whatnot." And that didn't happen. They still hate him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not making any money for them. He stole from them already. Don't forget, he stole their revenue by lying about, was it ticket sale numbers or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. I think other owners have done stuff like that before too. I'm sure he's not the only one, but his stuff has been made public.
He's not making money for the league, is what I'm saying. He's taken the once great franchise and run it into the ground. Like for the longest time, it was like us and the Cowboys were the top sports franchises. Remember? Like all back in the day.
I remember we were the top one, like top 5, each of us.
I don't know what we are now, but I know it's not top 5.
I think we're top 10 though. Dude,
we're still top 10.
It's like $5.4 billion for the Redskins. Our stadium's falling apart and pooping on people. And for $5.4 billion?
No, that's rainwater, dude. Come on. You know it is. Dan Snyder said so.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. Something's going on. Something's going on. Even if they can't get the votes to make him sell, they could be trying to force him. Remember they approved that debt waiver or whatever? They don't have to do that. He can't. He doesn't have money to build the stadium.
There's a lot of like ground support right now. I don't know if it'll actually come to fruition, but there's a lot of people who are like, we need to not fund a stadium, because if he can't fund a stadium, some of the owners, that's their make and break point. They don't care about pimping cheerleaders and like sexual harassment and all that stuff. They care about money, the bottom line.
Yeah. Three Pete's asking, what if he buys the stadium? He can't buy it. He already asked for a debt waiver because he didn't have enough liquidity to do, what was it? I don't even remember what it was.
He bought the minority shares from.
Yeah, to buy out the minority. They gave
him money for some. I think they gave him money. I said this at that point, and I still think they wanted him to own the entire team because they want him to sell the entire team. This is back when I first started saying Jeff Bezos is going to buy the team. That's the long game. And this is the beginning of it.
And that's why they
related.
approved the debt waiver. Because then Jeff Bezos or whoever doesn't have to go to 3 or 4 different dudes and try to get all their shares. It's more attractive to be like, you just deal with one dude, you have the whole team.
Yep.
And and then Dan Snyder won't actually be paying for that debt anyway, because Jeff Bezos will assume that when he buys the team. And because Dan Snyder's businesses suck. The long distance company, first of all, people don't even have phones anymore. And second of all, even if they did, remember those practices where they would change your long distance without you knowing and all that crap.
And not even tell you about it. That was Dan Snyder.
Yeah. Johnny Rockets, which is the worst crap in the world. And then he owns some amusement park, right? Like Six Flags.
He owns Six Flags. I don't know if I need to say anything about that.
Here's what I have to say.
God!
I hope he's gone, dude.
I think this is the beginning. I think this is the beginning of the end.
I mean, it's getting to the point now. It's not quite there. But it's getting to the point now where if you ask me what I'd rather see this year, the team turn it around and go on a run and win the Super Bowl, or Dan Snyder be out, I'd almost say I'd rather Dan Snyder be out.
Yeah, really. No, I don't want to get a Super. Last thing I want is for him to be like, I won you guys the Super Bowl. I did it.
And then we'll never get rid of him, dude. Ever. We'll be stuck until we die with Dan Snyder.
And son.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So are we going to talk about some football? Are you ready for some football?
I'm ready for Heineke. The
legend continues, dude. The legend continues. Oh my gosh.
Legend continues.
After last week, we still haven't talked about the game, but if you did not hear, in that game, Carson Wentz apparently has broken his, we already said this, ring finger on his throwing hand, and he's in LA getting some specialists to deal with it, and the word on the streets, 4 weeks?
4 to 6.
4 to 6. And I think the team officially has said that Heineke will be starting this week. Therefore, Howell is the backup, and we signed Kenny Ken's favorite draft pick from 2 years ago, Jake Fromm.
From State Farm.
Jake Fromm.
What a dad joke. Oh, man. Jake from State Farm.
Anyway.
Oh, man. He's not going to be active, but dudes, Josh Johnson, whatever that dude was last year, what was that name? Blewett? No, that was the kicker. What was that dude's name? He did one game.
Gilbert Gabbert Godfrey.
Gilbert
Grape. Gilbert Grape Gabbert Godfrey.
Godfrey, yeah, that guy. He started games. We had butt fumble out there for a couple games 2 years ago. I mean,
that was the worst, dude. I think that was
Fromm is like this close from starting. Like this close.
Why does Kenny Ken love him so much? I don't know.
He was good at Georgia just because Georgia was a powerhouse. So maybe from then.
Okay, anyway.
I don't know. But I mean, some people are saying that he's never going to make the field. We're talking about the Commanders here.
Yeah, but
we are the Commanders.
So he might make the field in week 7.
He might make the field. Yeah, really.
He might make the
field. He won't make it this weekend because he won't be active.
Well, he might make it by the week when we're in going to the Colts game. Shaney's going. John couldn't make it. Josh is going.
I can't make it.
And me and Shanny, we got to figure out. We got our tickets, dude. So we got to figure out tailgating.
It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to hear and see the pictures and everything from it.
Anyway, enough of that. What I was getting to is that Wentz is out this week, and it couldn't be done in a more perfect way for multiple reasons. One, he's not seriously injured; it's just his little finger, so he's okay.
Right. And he toughed it out. He really toughed it out because he played over half of football.
with
that broken finger.
And his
In his
throws
throwing
actually
hand.
looked okay. They sailed as normal, but it didn't look like any worse than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is Kenny Ken? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we have some people in the chat room. If you guys are Redskins fans or Washington football team fans or even Commanders fans, Commanders, you can join us in our chat room on Discord. Tiny URL, we got it teeny tiny down there below my head on the screen, tinyurl.com/Harry HF HARRYHF.
You can call the hog line at 202-735-1788 and rant if you want. And if it's funny, we'll play it on the podcast. Or you could email us at hhfpodcast@gmail.com. Speaking of, we got yet another email from DraftKings asking us if they wanted to sponsor us. So
I need to check that out. Jen from Nova Scotia is saying Jake from State Farm was on the Giants last year, played against us last game of the season, and stunk.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't even remember that.
But I'm old.
We're not getting any
I've had
younger.
like several concussions. So.
Yes, you have.
It was him. It was him. Okay. Back to my point. Yeah. He's out.
Yes.
One, I don't think he was not a leader of among men on this team. I mean, he might be a good teammate, but he didn't have the fire that I would like to see for a quarterback.
Yep, George 2.0.
Yeah. Two, if he doesn't play 70%, we only have to give up another third to the Colts, not a second as well.
Right, and I searched it out, and in 17 games, 30% of 17 games is 5.1 games.
Is it games or snaps?
Games. It's games. 70% of snaps, I guess.
So it depends on like if a game goes to overtime or something, who knows?
I guess.
We didn't have very many plays against Chicago. We only had like 50 offensive plays, if that.
Carson Wentz passed for 99 yards. Woo! Go, Carson. Yay, best.
99.
What the hey?
Carson Wentz, though, he showed his toughness in this game. Remember when he laid out Roquan Smith, that like stud linebacker? He just totally destroyed him on a block.
He did, and he had a block last week, and I was very glad that he did that because quarterbacks often don't do that at all, especially smaller guys. Someone was talking about how Kyler Murray in the game on Sunday just like totally did not block a guy, and he totally could have. But he's a little tiny guy, man. He's a little shrimp, so he can't do that.
He's like 5'8".
So it was good. So it's good to see Carson Wentz do that. I think in both cases, the linebackers kind of back off a little bit because they don't want to like get a flag, because you get a flag if you breathe on quarterbacks wrong. So I think that is actually part of it. So I don't want to blame Raekwon Smith too much.
Getting laid
again,
out.
Carson Wentz had a good block. Do what?
He just got destroyed. I know what you mean. Like he may not have come in full force, but at that point he was no longer a quarterback. So Raekwon Smith.
Yeah, but you never know anymore. I mean, did you see Yith was calling the game last week because he's still working even though he retired and he decided to come back? Yith. And he's just as bad as that. He's like the worst. He's like the worst referee.
Which game was he calling?
Jeff Triplett he had the Browns game. Was that it? Maybe it was the Giants game.
I don't know. I had it on
all
Sunday. I had it on Red Zone until the Bills Chiefs game, which was another great classic matchup.
Yeah, that was I had it on that as well.
With my fantasy quarterback, again, putting on an ultimate performance. I almost pulled out a victory in the fantasy league, by the way.
Almost.
I lost by like 10 points in the last game on Monday night. They came back and took the lead. I know. I'm already at my quota of 3 games, which they said would win the whole year. So anyway. Anything else is just gravy.
Gravy.
Back to this game though.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the actual
What
game.
an awful game. What they thought they had a bad game the week before. What an awful Thursday night game, and they still had over like 10 million viewers watching this game on the stats. They said according to Nielsen.
Well, I watched the whole thing.
I did. A lot of other people did, dude. Like I said during the game, I was like, you know who's watching this game? Commanders fans
and Bears fans.
Bears fans and gambling degenerates. That's who's watching this game.
I can already narrow it down of why we won this game. We sucked in total yards.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It was the turnovers. The Bears turned it over technically like 4 times. They had the interception to Jonathan Allen.
Yeah.
At the 5-yard line, that bounced off of some dude's helmet. It's straight up in the air, and then he caught it. So that was one turnover.
If he didn't catch it, I think Cameron Curl was coming in to get it, and he ran into like a Jonathan Allen brick wall in front of him who did catch the ball. So
they had that. They had the muffed punt that the hero of the day, Christian Holmes, hero of the day, saved our lives. Christian Holmes recovered that fumble, and he had to fight in there too to get it.
Oh man, I mean that's the fact that of all the things that happened in that game, because both teams had like a drop touchdown on a bomb. The one good thing that Carson Wentz can do is throw a bomb. The only just the thing all right, all the people that are mad that number 15, our guy, what's his name?
Who dropped the bomb? Was it Curtis Samuel?
It was Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, that should have been a touchdown.
But on the roster, dude, are Dax Milne, like
the one that's Zach Wilson's mom's boyfriend. Slash cousin.
That dude, he every time he catches the ball, he's gonna go he gets you like 3 to 5 yards. Great.
4 yards. 4 yards, Dax.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't fumble.
No,
and that's why he has that job.
You jinxed it now, dude. Because you know who was returned one kick? Antonio Gibson.
Yeah.
Which I was like, don't fumble it.
Yeah.
But back to the Bears, the reason why they lost. Because they dominated us in possession time. They dominated us in total yards. Their quarterback had almost 100 yards rushing against us.
They turned over the ball twice, within their 10-yard line to us. One with that pick.
Well, if you count turnovers on downs, dude, they went for it on 4th and 1 when they could have kicked a field goal.
Yep.
And then at the very end of the game, I think they turned it over on downs when Benjamin St. Juice kept the dude out of the end zone, even though he didn't really catch it because his elbow landed on the line.
100% correct.
So if you take those turnovers on downs inside their red zone, then they turned it over 4 times in the red zone.
Yeah. Dude, these sound like Commanders stats, except they're for the Bears.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were on the short end of the stick earlier in the season. The reason why we lost a couple of games in these crappy teams were because of turnovers and penalties. We also
penalties.
We had some penalties this week, but not nearly as many as we had a few weeks ago. The offensive line shaped up a little bit because Cornelius Lucas is playing way better than Cosme, Josh's dog.
Yep.
Since he's been out, how much better has it been?
I think the ends have been fine. The tackles have been fine. It's like the guys in the middle who were the problems, especially the guards. We all know we have great deficiencies at guard.
Norwell was better, actually, this week.
You know why? And we talked about it before the game. Number 69, Tyler Larson is back.
That was huge difference, by the way. Our 4th-string center is back, and we don't have the Schweitzer brother number 17 hitting himself in the rear end, hiking the ball anymore. We didn't see that.
Yeah. Good Lord. And that helped a lot.
Who's our other guard that played? Was it Sadiq?
I think they had Sadiq work at guard some as well. I mean, that's really where he should be playing.
Yeah, so these guys were a little bit better. I think the Bears only had 2 or possibly 3 sacks.
Yeah. But boy,
Carson Wentz just sucks, dude. He either
Was
overthrows
this the
people,
game?
underthrows people, or
Was this
throws
the
a
game
4-yard
where-
pass when you need 12. All that
Dude,
kind
on
of
one
stuff.
play, we had Tyler Larson, and we had I can't remember. Wasn't there a play where their guy just like rolled through the line and like went between a guard and a center and just split them, just split right
Yeah.
between two humongous dudes,
Yeah. That was
like
that
they
was
weren't even
early.
there.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
we
they-
still
they-
have a good amount of trouble there on the offensive line, but
Just saying it was
Tyler
better.
Larson was big. It was better.
It was better. Oh, we can't go without saying this, dude. Why can't our dudes count on defense? This is all on coaching, in my opinion.
Again,
We had 2 12-men on the field penalties, and on one of them, they scored a touchdown anyway.
Did we have? Wasn't that 10 men on the field on that second one?
No, we had 2
No,
12-men on the field
We had
and a
12
10-man.
and a
You don't-
10. Yeah,
You
that's
don't
right.
get 10 men on the field penalty.
Yeah, you
I
didn't
don't-
have a 10-man. It just happened that they just showed us after the play. They're like, and look at this.
The Commanders can't count. You know why?
We are the Commanders. Doug, what is it?
I mean, come on, dudes. You got to be able to count. You got to be able to count. But Montez Sweat had a great game again. He's like turning it up the last few weeks.
Montez Sweat, the guy, our defensive front line had a better game again. I'm just waiting for Chase to come back. It'll be great. I think
Dude, this Effie Obata guy is good.
this Effie Obata guy is good. You're exactly right.
He's always hitting the quarterback.
Yeah.
Did he get a sack in this game? Am I on crack? I mean, it was like 5 days ago.
He did. He did have a sack, and he had a pass defended.
Yeah, dude. I'm loving this guy. I might get an Effie jersey, dude. He's awesome.
Obata Bing,
Obata.
dude. Number 97, Obata Bing. If you get yourself a what was his name? Ronaldo Win jersey, you could just put Obata on top of it instead.
Ronaldo win.
Ronaldo Win.
Dude. I don't know. And who is this Ridgeway guy? I mean, who is he? When did
I
we
don't
get
know.
him?
Dude, I was looking on the transactions page on takecommanders.com. Take command.
No, I'm just saying this because I heard Ron Rivera being like, and Ridgeway has been doing a really nice job in there. And I'm like, where did we get him?
Oh, dude, he's a defensive tackle. Guess where we got him? We
I
got
have
him
no
off waivers from the Cowboys.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Bum, bum, bum.
You know what happens?
Joker.
I need to go back in history of all the dudes. Jason Hatcher.
Oh man, what a disaster signing.
Not as bad as Jason Taylor. Remember that?
How could I forget?
Not as bad as Jeff George.
Were you the person that he just looked straight at training camp? He just looked straight at you and then like walked away and didn't sign your hat? Or was that Josh?
That was me, dude.
That was you. Okay.
Anyway.
That's where your hatred came from. I knew you and Josh hated him, but I couldn't remember if it was you or Josh, where he just looked at you and just walked away.
He had
didn't
this
even say
blank
nope
look
or
on his
anything.
face, like he wasn't quite all there. Like he was, I don't know, like just kind of like.
Yep. Jeff George,
Oh my
leader
gosh.
of men. Carson Wentz, leader of men.
So Carson Wentz may have played his last game because if Heineke comes in and plays well, he's not coming back in. If Heineke comes in and plays poorly, then I say we put Hal in and see what we get. See what we have there. Might as well.
I mean, if Heineke comes in, he plays poorly, and we don't win, if we only win like one game in the next 5 or 6, I mean, we're going to be out of it at that point. And I think you're exactly right. It's trying to throw Howell out there because some people, just like he was really, really great in preseason. But I mean, remember the legend of Colt Brennan, who for like 2 or 3 preseasons in a row, he was awesome with the third string teams. But when he played with the first strings, no, he sucked.
Well, I just want to see this dude get some NFL action.
Yeah, we got to see what he can do out there with like we've got great receivers. We need to see what these guys can do. I think even average quarterbacks are going to be doing well if they could throw the ball, if they could not look at the same guys for the entire play as they run out, checking on one receiver and things like that.
Chin in Nova Scotia is saying you're high as a kite if you don't think we're out of it now. I mean mathematically, dude.
Yeah. We're talking about mathematically here. You never know. We could have a 5-0 run once again. We've got Taylor Heineke coming in, floater of hospital balls, runner towards the pylon extraordinaire.
We go on a 5-game winning streak, dude. Then it'll be, what will we be? 7-4.
Well, dude, what kind of schedule do we have?
Crazier things have happened, my friend.
We are right now. We are 2-4, and we are 1 game out of the wild card.
I'm saying there's no reason for Wentz to come back in. If we play,
exactly, I agree.
If Heineke plays well, they're not going to put him back in. If Heineke plays poorly, by the time Wentz can come back in 4 to 6 weeks, and we're what will be there? 2-8. 2-8. If he plays poorly, then why are you going to bring Wentz back in?
I'm going to go through the schedule here. We got Green Bay coming up this weekend at home. At Indy, at home versus Minnesota and Kirk Cousins.
We're winning that Indy game.
I wonder. I bet. Excuse me. At Philadelphia, and that's a night game too. That really stinks. But after that, we have at Houston versus Atlanta at home, and then at the New York Giants, we have a bye week, and then we have the Giants at home. Most of those games in there.
I want to talk about the Giants when you're done with this. Go ahead.
5-1 Giants, yeah. I mean, Houston, Atlanta, we can win those games. Indianapolis, probably. Green Bay, maybe. They had a terrible week last week.
It's Heineke's revenge game. I'm calling it, dude. Remember I called the Tampa Bay one? It's this year's Heineke.
He did.
He's embarrassed for giving himself up on that play, and he's going to have something to prove. And Green Bay's not looking that great.
But this could totally be a game where they come back and Rodgers throws 5 touchdowns.
Nope. Not with FEO Bada on him all day.
No bada bing.
FEO Bada is going to have a sack this week. Montez Sweat's going to have a sack.
FEO Bada. Oh, dude.
Ridgeway's going to have a pass defense.
A pass defense.
I applaud your optimism. We will be 4-13. Well, if we are, sir, then we're not going to have Wentz next year anyway. We need to get another quarterback. So I'm optimistic about that.
Yeah.
I know how much you love Wentz, Chin in Nova Scotia, but he's not going to be back for this team. He's played his last down.
He may have played his last game. It just depends. Although, because he could come back even if we're down, even if Taylor Heineke sucks. He could come back and Ron Rivera would be dumb enough and stupid enough to put him back in the games and go over that 70% threshold because that's something he doesn't care about, I guess.
I'm glad you brought up Ron Rivera.
It's really.
I am so tired of hearing him about his plan of how it takes time and
guys,
it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, all right?
All right.
It takes time for our plan to work. What about this dude that took over the crappy Giants and they're 5-1 and they're playing with the people they have, playing like old school football?
Exactly. And they don't even have that wide receiver that they signed. People, Galladay, is that who it was? People were saying we should try it here, and I was like, that guy's injury waiting to happen. He's always injured, and there he's injured the whole time he's been there. He hasn't caught a single touchdown.
You know who else has sucked? The 2 other quarterbacks that people were saying we should give the farm to. Yeah. Matthew Stafford has been pretty sucky, and Russell Wilson.
And it looks like he may have tweaked a hammy, or what was it? Was it hamstring? I think it was his hamstring.
I don't know, but
they're paying over $200 million for. I think it was $245 million for him. They gave us 2 first rounds, 2 second rounds, and I don't know what the 5th pick is, but that's in there too.
I'd much rather take a flyer on Sam Howell and let him play for free and see how he does, and then get our 2 more quarterbacks next year, and one of them might pan out and pay that dude $200 million to suck.
Over $200 million to suck. It looks like he just fell off a cliff.
Wentz is looking like a bargain right now.
Yeah. Of all the people, Mariota's doing, I guess, okay. He's not injured yet. That surprises me a lot.
He's my starting quarterback this week, dude, in the fantasy league. Because I only drafted one quarterback, and it's his bye week. So I picked him up. I think. Did he clear waivers? Oh, crap. I should be quiet.
3-Peat's going to go in and wreck your...
3-Pete doesn't have a chance against me in the league when I'm actually paying attention, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to have to change his name next year.
4-Pete.
Oh, he's typing. John goes to 4-Pete. Okay, anyway. So anyway, the Giants, and I'm tired of Ron Rivera, Jack Del Rio. We look like amateurs on the coaching too. Norv Jr.
Yeah. It just.
What do you think about this? I heard this week from, I think, Al Galdi. People are saying that Carson Wentz, since he's just got to the team this year, that Norv Jr. hasn't been able to open up the playbook, but he'll be able to open it up with Heineke?
I think because Heineke has been exposed to the playbook longer, because he had it also in Carolina when he was there, and of course last season. Yeah. So okay. It makes sense. I can get it. I was thinking that. I was wondering if he was holding stuff back. I thought he would really kind of put stuff forward because we had so much more of an offensive threat than we've had in the past, and that didn't happen at all. When was the last time we saw Carson Wentz play action?
He hardly ever rolls out or anything, dude. It's going to be interesting to see Heineke. I hope he gives us a spark, makes our games more fun to watch.
The team plays for him because they know that he cares about winning.
Yeah.
He plays with heart, and that's what's great about him. One thing that's not great though are those hospital balls he throws up there that in times past, like you have an Art Monk jersey on today. Times past, that kind of ball would get guys killed who would go catch the ball up across the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, they're not allowed to hit them anymore though. So
yeah, but there's still things like that, they could still get crushed.
Yeah.
Hospital that's the definition of a hospital ball right there. Even though it was worse in the past, it could still. We saw Terry, it looked like we thought he got concussed on that play last year that it happened.
Mm-hmm. But he's got a lot more offensive weapons. Last year he had Terry and he had Logan Thomas, right? For some of the games, and he got injured. This year it's like a plethora of dudes.
Yep, yeah. And De'Ami Brown is more active as the deep threat now.
But the offensive line is worse. But they did get a little bit better.
A little bit better. It's really...
Once Cosby was gone, and Zach Martin's brother, Nick Schweitzer. Dude, what's going on? Have you checked the injury front yet? Like you mentioned Chase Young. What's the deal with him? Is there any time frame?
Nope, not that I've seen.
I haven't seen anything. Anyone in the peanut gallery seen anyone? Speaking of people in the peanut gallery this week, Chin in Nova Scotia, 3-Pete, Shanny, Firefly is in the live podcast room, watching the podcast at 1 a.m. there.
That's awesome. I love that we can do stuff like that on Discord. It's great.
Kenny Ken is in here. It was funny you mentioned that the only people watching the game were Redskins fans, Bears fans, and gambling degenerates, and then Kenny Ken chimed in and said he won $1,400. Wait, was that $1,400 American or Canadian?
I think he said it was. I don't know. I think he said Canadian. I can't remember.
So that's like $3 American then. Good job though. Who else is in here? Anyone else? I think that's about it.
So anyway, Taylor Heineke plays with heart. That's why people love him so much. That's why I bought this jersey. Love the pretty much every team loves the backup quarterback, but we really, really love the backup quarterback here in Washington. And we've had a lot of backup quarterbacks have to fill in. So I'm excited to see him. And if he sucks, I'll be excited to see Howell and see how he does.
Yeah. You know who I'm not excited about seeing? Wentz.
The middle of the offensive line is problem. Just get Carson to roll out left or right. I guess, I don't know why I don't know why Carson Wentz couldn't do that.
I don't either, dude. I really don't know.
But I mean, anyway, there's stuff that he's really good at. So
throwing it deep is what he's good at, and throwing it over dudes' heads, and getting sacked more than he should. All right, what else? Do we want to talk about anything else before we go into games and kicks? So we don't know anything about Chase Young's situation.
I don't have anything on this week's injury report.
I thought last week Ron said he was going to go see the doctor one more time, and then he would know. But I haven't heard anything.
He would be able to come back to play. I just don't want him to come back too quick and then end up pushing it back, because they're saying that might be happening to Logan Thomas, and he's had to step back some.
Oh,
we also got Frosted Hoffs out there, Cole Turner.
I know what else I want to talk about this game, dude. How about number 8?
How about
sometimes number 0, depending on when you look at him on the field? How about him coming back in his second game and grinding out and getting himself a touchdown?
Getting his first touchdown of his career. That's awesome.
That was pretty cool to see him do that.
And that was the difference. We won by 5.
Yes. Yes, we did. The Bears Virginia Tech uniforms. Oh, he wants us to talk about that. I actually liked their helmets, dude. I thought they looked sweet.
Oh, yeah, the orange helmets. I thought the orange helmets were cool.
Yeah, and that orange was closer to UVA orange than Virginia Tech.
It's closer. Yeah, it's closer. Although Tech has a darker-ish orange as well. It's not like Florida Gators orange.
Yeah.
Or like Tennessee Volunteers orange. And and we saw them beat Alabama this last weekend. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm. Anyway, okay. So I guess it's time for the games and kicks, right?
I guess. One more thing that we haven't even talked about. Yesterday, a story came out that the D.C. Attorney General was planning to, quote, take action on Dan Snyder and the Commanders.
Oh, yeah. What was that all about?
What exactly does that mean?
And Shanny was talking about this in the Discord the other day. He was like, what kind of action in the D.C., whatever their job is,
Attorney General
take when the team plays in Maryland and they're headquartered in Virginia? So what kind of action would they take?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know.
They said Dan Snyder, quote, Dan Snyder, the Commanders, and the NFL will soon face accountability for their actions. Snyder will no longer be able to dodge subpoenas or avoid testifying or answering questions. Unquote.
And he's no longer allowed in the Captain D's.
I
don't know, dude. I have no idea. That's
interesting.
I don't understand how that works, but I hope it's true. I'm not holding my breath on that one. The Irsay thing has me a little more excited.
Yeah.
Okay. Now is it time for the games and kicks?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's time for this week's Kicking the Balls Award.
Kicking the Balls Award, as always, brought to you by Ridapoo. You can go first this week.
My kick in the balls goes to there's a few people to look at. I know that swinging gate play was one to look at for sure.
Was that Norwell?
But mine is going. Do what?
Was that Norwell on the swinging gate play?
It was Norwell. I think it was the Norwell in the center.
Jansen.
I can't remember. It might have been Sadiq and the center, or maybe Sadiq. It looked like Sadiq in the center, but I can't remember. The game was so long ago.
All right, go ahead.
My kick in the balls is going to Mr. Sly, the kicker.
Oh, when I called that he was going to miss that one?
It was a 48-yarder, I think.
But we didn't even talk about William Jackson, dude.
Oh, yeah, dude. We didn't even talk about that. So, yeah, Joey Sly gets my kick in the balls. Who gets your kick in the balls?
Mine is going to Curtis Samuel for dropping that touchdown.
Dude, God. What's up? Is that
you gotta pull that
out there, man?
You got to pull that in, dude. You got to pull that in.
That I expected from De'Ami Brown, who did nothing but catch 2 touchdowns on the exact same kind of pass.
It was
not Curtis Samuel. Come on, man.
You got to bring that in. William Jackson, while you guys in the chat room are putting in your Kicking the Balls awards, William Jackson, if you guys didn't hear, we may have talked about it before the last podcast or on the last podcast because we did it game night. So
right before the game.
William Jackson III apparently wants to be traded after getting benched for Wild Goose. I think we talked about it.
We didn't talk about the trade thing.
Anyway.
Yeah, he was inactive, and story came out that he is trying to get traded.
Have we traded him? Because the deadline's the end of the month, I believe. It's only like 12, 13 days. So we need to trade.
Yeah.
See what we can get for him. In the words
of it's going to be like a 6th round pick or something.
Our oldest, youngest listener. So if that kid in the year 2005, when we started this podcast, one of our oldest, youngest listeners, his name was Danny.
Yeah.
He would always be like, let's see what we can get for him. And we just thought he was like a normal age dude, 20s, 30s. And then one day we went to DC and Danny was like, hey, we've got an extra parking pass for the game. You guys can swing by and pick it up. And we're like, okay. We swing by his house. We're like, yeah, is Danny here? And this like 13-year-old kid comes out to the door and we're like, oh, you're Danny? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we were like, whoa.
So anyway, he's our youngest, older
stuff listener. Like that is, that stuff like that is why we try to keep it like PG-13.
So anyway, what's his name? Danny, our youngest, oldest listener. If he was 13 in 2005, how old is he now? Dude's got to be.
Where are you now?
2005 to 2015, 17. He's 30 years old, dude.
Ooh. Happy birthday. Happy 30th.
Happy 30th, dude.
I really, man, if you're still a Redskins / football team / Commanders fan, wow. Pain. Anyway. Lots of pain.
Anyway, he would always be like, let's see what we can get for him. And that's what we need to do with William Jackson because,
let's see what we can get for him.
Anyway,
absolutely.
Okay.
I absolutely agree with that.
Jen in Nova Scotia is giving his to Milne, 4 yards Milne, 4 yards Dax. He takes 3 steps and fall down. He always does. And even if he tries to run to the side and get away from a dude, he'll eventually get 3 yards and fall down.
He did not fumble.
He did not fumble.
He did not fumble.
Yet.
Unlike that dude on the other team. What was the guy's name? Do you even remember who it was?
No, but I know he's cut.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what his name was.
Sorry, Chen, and David Mayo.
Oh.
David Mayo is good, man. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so no one else is giving their kid. Oh, Danny or Shanny's giving his to what? Oh, he's not giving one. He just said Dan Snyder's banned from all metro trains and buses. Oh yeah, remember when Dan Snyder, how much he loves the fans, that he wouldn't even keep the metro open for an hour after those late games? Yeah, I know how much he loves us. Oh, Taylor Bud Lighty Goat's in the room. David Mayo rule. Oh, sucks. So he's giving his to David Mayo too, man. Everyone's on David Mayo. Okay. All right. Well, we're in the meantime.
now, the coveted and ever-elusive Game Ball Award.
Game Ball Award. Not brought to you by anyone. No one sponsors the Game Ball Award. DraftKings wants to, but we won't do it.
I don't know why I keep forgetting to check that email.
They said this
right
is this time they were like, this is the last time we're gonna reach out to you guys.
I better get on that.
They're like, how much for a 60-second mid-roll commercial? Like $1 million.
Fat bastard.
Which we will then take all of the listeners of our podcast on a all expense paid trip to see a game next season. Okay. Now 3-Pete's giving his kick. Dude, you're late. Stop.
We're spent.
He's like switching things. He's like at the TV station, like switching feeds and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, hold on. I'm trying to fade to the weatherman. The sports guy. Come on.
I gotta fade to the sports guy.
Fade.
Camera two. Here we go. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put my kick in. Anyway, Taylor Bud Lighty Coates giving his to Scott Turner, and 3-Pete is giving his to Ron. Guys, it's not gonna happen overnight like the Giants.
Guys.
Or the Eagles.
Guys.
Or the Cowboys. It's not gonna happen overnight for us. You know why?
We are the commanders.
Doug, what is it?
We are the commanders.
That's why it's not gonna happen overnight for us.
Oh man. Yeah, all I mean, this just
Okay. Can I get my game ball? Because you're never going to believe it. And this is probably the only time he's ever going to get it from me.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Mine's going to Carson Wentz for throwing that block and being a man's man and playing the whole game injured. Because I may not like him as a player, but he showed some toughness in that game.
He did. And
he's getting my game ball.
For that. Props to him for that. Good for him.
I was going to give him my kick too, but then you reminded me of that Curtis Samuel drop. So he got it. So anyway, who are you giving yours to? Dude, I remember who we said we were going to give one to, but anyway, go ahead.
So I'm going to give mine to Brian Robinson Jr.
Making that comeback.
Got his first touchdown. Brian Robinson Jr.
Well, I got to give a couple more small collective game balls to some defensive players. One of them,
I agree.
Benjamin St. Juste for saving the game at the end. Also to Christian Holmes for getting that muff punt, and to Jonathan Allen for intercepting inside the red zone there. Not to mention the stops on 4th down from the defensive line.
Twice. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
that was huge.
So the fact that the 3-Pete has now given his game ball to the entire D, I can't argue with it. It wasn't the offense that won the game, 99 passing yards.
No way, man.
So yes, I agree with all of that. Who else? Throw them out.
I think a shout out goes to Wild Goose. He had 7 tackles.
Yeah, and we keep dogging on our linebacker. What's his face? The redneck looking one. What's his name?
Chase Holcomb.
Thank you, Chase Holcomb.
Cole Holcomb.
Every week
Holcomb.
He's stacking up some tackles every week.
His mullet's getting longer and his tackles are getting stronger.
The secondary for only getting burnt once.
Yeah. I mean,
it's true.
It's against Chicago. We've
gone from like an averaging 5 giant give up plays down to 4, down to 3, down to 2, and now we're at 1. So maybe
Now
we
we're
can
at 1. And
maybe
and
have
it,
0 next week.
and it really kind of coincided. Started with getting Bobby McCain back a little bit, and it really coincided with
Ridgeway
William Jackson III
being benched for
riding
Wild
the
Goose.
pine.
William Jackson
Benched
III.
Wild Goose.
William Jackson III may have been the weakest link, dude. Between him and Cosme and us getting a center back, those were huge. Not to mention Ridgeway, according to Coach Ron. Anyway, should we round this thing out? Because we're like an hour and 10 minutes in.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, dudes. Thanks for joining us on making episode 561 so special for us.
Special.
This week we got... Oh, crap, dude.
What? Oh, hold on. We need a record screech. We need like a screeching like record needle.
I need to get that. Yeah, I'll get that for next week. It's time for Aaron's Precarious Predictions.
That music will live on in infamy.
We're just going to
Never
keep
gonna
using
die.
it. It came with like GarageBand 1 back in 2004. Anyway, my precarious prediction this week, I've already alluded to it.
Yeah.
Green Bay is going to come marching into Washington, and Heineke is going to be at the helm, and he is out for revenge for giving himself up last year. It's not going to happen again. He's learned his lesson. I predict 2 rushing touchdowns by Taylor Heineke, hitting some pylons on his way in. One
Rushing
from
touchdowns. Yeah.
One from J.D. McKissick on a swing pass out of the back. Aaron Rodgers is not going to go down easily, though. He's going to put up 1 touchdown pass, deep one, where Wild Goose is actually going to get burned.
Sorry, Wild Goose.
And then we're going to add 1 field goal from our kicker, who's also going to miss one, but he's going to get one. So it's going to be 17-7 Washington. Write it down. Kenny Ken, take it to your bookie. 17-7 Washington. Have any like clapping sounds?
Probably not. Hey, woo!
I need a clapping sound.
Boom, boom.
Hey, I do have this though. 17-7. Oh, that one didn't work. That was going to be a good
I
one.
don't hear anything.
Remember that?
It's not my fault. It's not my fault.
Oh my.
It's all 6,000.
Anyway. All right, dude.
Yeah, well.
Now.
Wow.
Dude. Try this again. Like to give a shout out to our friends and compadres in the Peanut Gallery. Chen in Nova Scotia, 3-Pete, Shanny, Taylor Bud Lighty Goat, Kenny Ken from Canada. Cole CC was in there today. He offered us tickets. Did you see that, G? We want to go to the game this week.
I did see it.
I told him I had to check with my wife and get a plane ticket, get hotel reservations. Anyway, thanks for the offer. I will check in on that until I get shot down by her. Fireflies in there.
Has something to do with probably a dance competition.
I think it probably has more to do with the fact that I'm already going to a game the next week.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, give us an email at not Redskins Fans. HHF Podcast at gmail.com. Call the hog line,
Yeah.
202-735-1788. Just a local call to Washington, D.C. Discord,
It goes right to
tinyurl.com
voicemail.
/HarryHF. Tweet at us at Harry Hog. I think that's about it. Remember, if you see a Cowboys fan this week,
And you know what to do.
wait, hail to the Redskins. And if you see a Cowboys
yeah.
fan, Joker.
Joker! And looks like the Eagles might run away with this division.
Wait, dude.
We've got 11 games to go. 11 games to go. Heineke?